Let's get scratching.
It's that time. It's that time to get some scratch in the hands. NFL Week 3 picks already here. What is going on, Jer? You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, Week 3 is a tough week. A lot of injuries and not too many gimme games. There are some large spreads, but it's tough. It's a tough week. I had a hard time with my medal picks. My teaser and my underdog and everything was actually pretty. My survivor was pretty easy, but I had to sit there for quite a bit with my medal picks, just kind of going through cross-referencing. As I do, defenses that have had horrible showings, offenses that have had horrible showings. Okay, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. That's why we're here to break it all down. Week 3. Let's get into the Thursday night football game. Miami at Buffalo. Look ahead line, I believe, was -10 for Buffalo. And then obviously with Miami being just a shit show the first 2 weeks, Buffalo looking amazing minus the first 3 quarters against Buffalo, or I should say Baltimore. So obviously 2 teams with complete opposite starts. For Miami, they're saying Darren Waller's doubtful, and they're saying the safety Melifanu is doubtful as well. For Buffalo, they're saying Matt Milano questionable, Shaq Thompson questionable, Ed Oliver questionable, and Teron Johnson questionable. It's a short week, so pay attention to what happens there for both sides of that spot. Your thoughts on this game?
Oh, man, I just think that any divisional game, you just can't count the other team out. I know the Dolphins just look terrible, but you can't forget they play these guys twice a year. They know them a little bit more than, the other, whatever, 30 teams, whatever, the rest of the division. I don't really see the Dolphins winning, but I see some late, just like in the Arizona game, standing on the back of your heels. Oh, you're up by 2-3 scores. Who cares if they score twice? You still win. I think I'm smelling a backdoor cover here. I hate to take the Dolphins straight up, but that's, again, any NFL team, especially if it's dragged through the mud this last week, 2 double digits.
I did take a small piece of plus 12.5 Miami, just purely on the value side. I mean, like you said, divisional game, the familiarity. Miami's getting punked in the media big time, and Buffalo, I mean, they should be a little fat and happy. You beat your arch rival Baltimore in huge comeback style. You just demolish your, I guess, division rival, you could call them, to the Jets. And you're coming home, and I mean, Josh Allen does have a broken nose, and he did only throw for $150 last week. So maybe the offense isn't clicking like it was in week 1. So maybe Miami has that, 3 or 4 days to get ready for this game. Slight advantage. I mean, they're getting just shit on Tua. They're saying trade him. They're saying fire the coach, fire the GM. So for me, it would be Miami or nothing, but I would love to get plus 14. If I could get plus 14, I think I would take definitely Miami.
Take any NFL team with plus 14. Right? That's
on a short week in a division, especially when you got the motivation. I mean, you got to think coach is coaching for his whatever career, and then
players don't want to get embarrassed again, right?
I mean, Tua's played pretty bad. But they had a chance to win week 2. So, I mean, there is something there. Let's move along to a AFC South clash. The Colts, 3.5 at the Titans. I believe the look-ahead line was 2.5 for the Colts. It's obviously gone up with the way they played the first 2 weeks. Looking at the injury report real quick. Let's take a look what's going on here. Indy and Tennessee. Okay, they're saying for Indy, Goodson is questionable. Latu, the defensive end, is questionable, and Charvarius Ward is questionable. Tennessee, they got safety Winston and offensive tackle J.C. Latham is questionable with hip injury, and Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle from Tennessee, is questionable as well. So some minor injuries there, but I've obviously the stat of all stats, I think, through 2 weeks, Jer, is Indianapolis has not punted yet. They've had a couple of fourth down conversions. They've had a couple of fourth down conversions that they didn't convert against Denver, but their punter has not been used once this season. So I think this has got to be the biggest recreational play of the week. You would think Colts minus the 3.5. I was telling people yesterday, if you liked it, grab the -3 because you know it was going to go up, right?
Well,
what are you thinking on this one? You got
I
some scratch on this game.
Stay away from divisional games, and you know this, but I think the Colts are just rolling. The Titans look okay in certain spots, but I just don't think it's going to happen. You know, these defensive games, they can end by a field goal a lot of times, but yeah, Colts haven't punted yet. They just look great. The defense looks really good too. And I just see them winning by at least 4, probably more, but definitely cover this spread. That's why it's my bronze pick of the week.
Yeah, I mean, a divisional game, home opener for Tennessee. You would think if they can get a couple of touchdowns, maybe get to Daniel Jones, they would have a chance to keep it close. But I think it's pretty hard to trust. Yeah. Divisional home opener, you're going to be pumped up. You know, the first overall pick. He's made some bonehead plays. He's taken some sacks that he shouldn't have taken. You know, Cam Ward, he's still pretty raw. He had a long college career, but Denver's defense is considered elite. And, you know, last week he went up against the Rams, who are no cupcake. So maybe he's been given, you know, 2 tough tests, I think. Colts, they got a solid D, obviously got a really good running game. I think Daniel Jones might come back down to earth a little bit going on the road because, you know, first 2 weeks they were at home. And obviously beating up on Miami may not say too much. So let's see. I think this one will go down to the wire. And we'll move on to another divisional game. This time, NFC South. Falcons favored by 6 over the Panthers. I think the look-ahead line was -3 for Atlanta. Excuse me. Obviously, the line's gone up now. Obviously, the way Atlanta played in week 2, only letting up did they let up 1 touchdown, or I don't think Minnesota even scored. So
2 field goals.
So that's pretty solid. And all their rookie their first, second, and third round, fourth round picks all stepped up. So all their first 4 draft picks were all rookies. So that's promising for Atlanta. But for Carolina, more bad news. Their center, Corbett, is out on the IR, and as well, Hunt, the guard, he is out for the year. So already small quarterback, losing 2 offensive linemen. I can see why this line went up to 6, but if I can't get 7 or 7.5 with Carolina, I can't play them right now, Jer. I just can't risk them. In a close game, you know. You gotta have that 7.5 in your pocket. What are your thoughts on this game?
You know, I'm a classic attacker of the weak teams. Unfortunately, my gold pick was a victim of just a defense sitting back on their heels, up 4 scores, and Panthers should have won that game against Arizona. That being said, yeah, these injuries
they were given every chance.
Yeah, these injuries are too major to get over. Falcons feasted on JJ McCarthy, so I think they will definitely feast on Bryce Young. This is a divisional game. They need this. That loss to Tampa Bay didn't do it. Yeah, that loss to Tampa Bay didn't do any favors for them. So yeah, I just got no faith in the Panthers. And I think the Falcons will not sleep on them for 1 second. And yeah, that's 6. So I'd say Falcons by 10 at least.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move on to Raiders at the Commanders. Daniels is out for this one. The look-ahead line, I believe, was think it was 6.5 for the Commanders, dropped down to 6, and then obviously went down to 3 when Daniels was called out for the game. Basically, he's not officially out, but I mean, the line tells you everything. Vegas wouldn't drop the line like that for no reason. For the Raiders, not too many injuries to talk about. Commanders, Noah Brown, wide receiver, is doubtful. Tight end Bates is doubtful, and obviously Daniels is unlikely to play. And I mean, Vegas coming off a short week here, Jer. Washington will be starting Marcus Mariota. What are your thoughts on this one?
I got no faith in Mariota. He's just purely a game manager. I think this is a spot where the Raiders get one back just on the absence of Daniels alone. I know the Commanders have really been stepping up on the defensive side of the ball, but without Daniels there, I just don't see them putting up lots of points. I think the most that the Commanders will get is 20. So, yeah, I like the Raiders if they can score 23 points. If they can score 23, I think they're going to win this game. So, just on the Daniels alone, I'm going to take the Raiders.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty sharp line. I could see this game finishing 3 points either way. I think the Commanders, they probably can do something without Daniels. He does so much for their team, though, like you said. Raiders, Geno Smith, if he's not throwing it to the other team, he's pretty solid, but three picks last game. That's probably a little souring for most bettors, but I think it's pretty solid line there. Probably have to lean slightly to the Raiders. So we'll move on to the Packers visiting the Brownies. Green Bay at Cleveland. Original line was, I believe, 8.5. It's come down a little bit, so there's some sharp money coming in on Cleveland as a home dog. Pretty good defense. They did out-yard Baltimore, believe it or not, last game, and they out-yarded Cincy in week 1. So if you're just going by pure yards, Cleveland is not as bad as their 0-2 record. And Green Bay obviously has dominated the first 2 weeks. Pretty good opponents. Now they go on the road, Jer, and at the Dog Pound, and they're going to be facing a pretty good defensive line. Some guy named Myles Garrett might be feasting after what he said.
I heard, but it's all the Browns got. Their offense is just putrid. Yards, schmards. It's all about scoring. I just don't see the Browns, even though they're going to be proud at home. I just don't see them winning this game. Maybe a backdoor cover somehow, being 7.5, and they lose by 7. But other than that, it's the Packers. I have faith that the Packers are probably winning by 10 or more.
I mean, I did tease down Green Bay in one of my teasers, but still, I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. I think it's going to be a different story. Green Bay hasn't played on the road yet. At home, we obviously know they're killer. On the road, we'll see. And Cleveland, I mean, the scores hasn't actually been exactly the whole story in week 1 and 2 for Cleveland. And obviously, wins are what we play for, but we also get a little scratch from playing on the spread. So, I mean, Joe Flacco doesn't throw the ball away here. They can maybe bottle up Jacobs and keep this maybe to a 27-20 game. Definitely like Green Bay. I mean, I definitely like Cleveland as a strong lean, but I don't think I'll be playing it. I'll just take the teaser and hope Green Bay wins by a field goal or more. What are you thinking on this one? You're just Green Bay or nothing?
Packers are my survivor pick this week. Okay. So, I think they're definitely going to win. I see Packers winning by 10, and that's not a blowout. Maybe 14 or more is a blowout.
Packers do have a look ahead spot here in week 4. They're facing Dallas, Micah Parsons' old squad, right? So maybe they're focusing a little bit more on that game. Might be a little fat Dallas
that's wins, what I'm thinking. Unless Dallas beats Chicago, they're going to be 1 and 2. They're just going to be a bottom feeder, and I don't think that game's going to be anything special.
Well, it's on Sunday night. It's hyped up. It's going to be talked about all week, right? So I think there'll be a lot
Mike
of
is getting
emotions.
his
Obviously,
revenge
Dallas at
hard.
home. Yeah, he probably will. Let's move on to a battle of the backup bowl. It is your guy, Jake Browning, versus your guy, Carson Wentz. Aaron Jones is out for this game. I think the look headline was -1.5 when Joe Burrow was he was actually playing, and McCarthy was supposed to play, and Aaron Jones was supposed to play. So with Aaron Jones being out, McCarthy is out, and Wentz will start. Ryan Kelly is questionable, the center with a concussion, and a couple of their tackles are questionable with knee issues as well. Harrison Smith has illness issue. I think he'll play. And Andrew Van Ginkel, he was big in week 1. He was concussed in week 2. He should be back. Knock on wood. Obviously, Joe Burrow out for Cincy, and then their rookie Shamar Stewart is doubtful with an ankle injury. So Cincy banged up, Mini banged up. I am taking the Vikings here as a -3 home favorite here. I think most people will see what Cincy did in the second half there with Browning coming back and winning against Jacksonville. A little bit of a false final, I think, there. And I think they're going to say that, Minnesota was so horrible on Sunday night, didn't score a touchdown. You're without your starting quarterback. You're without your starting running back. I honestly think Jordan Mason is better than Aaron Jones. He's kind of like a mini Kareem Hunt in his prime. He gets those extra yards where Aaron Jones is kind of, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So I think that's
running
an
back's
upgrade.
number is usually better. There are a couple of exceptions, but not too
He was
many.
already projected.
This is your gold pick for the week?
This is my gold pick, yeah. This is my gold
Nice.
pick. I really like the Vikings here. I think
Carson Wentz is the most capable backup in the league, and he's been there. He's been at the top.
He's playing for a job, right?
Yeah,
he's
and
playing
exactly.
For a backup
he's
job.
trying to, show the rest of the NFL, look what I can do, right? So yeah,
look what he did for the Rams that 1 week where I believe they had an injury, and then to Stafford, he also stepped up for Carson Wentz. Not Carson Wentz, for Patrick Mahomes a couple of times in Kansas City. So we know he's capable.
Definitely.
I think Browning might be throwing a couple more picks to his Vikings defense. I like the Vikings head coach. I like their defense. I like their running game. I think the Bengals might be a little fat and happy here at 2-0. So I'm going to give the 3 point
starter. Maybe some false confidence going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Their defense is not very, the best.
They did sign Mike White.
Yeah. Okay.
They did have some timely turnovers. Like they had that timely turnover against Cleveland, and they did force some turnovers against Trevor Lawrence last week in the second half. So I don't know, they do have some big play capability. They did draft, the rookie who's not going to play, which helps Minnesota. So we'll move on to, I think, the game of the week, Jer. I don't know why this is not Sunday night. I don't know why we have to watch Kansas City and New York Giants, but more on that later. This line opened up, I believe, at 4.5, -4.5 for the Eagles. It's come down now. Quite a bit of Rams money coming in. Taking a look at the injuries, Rams, not too much. Witherspoon, their cornerback, is out for the year on the IR. Fisk, the defensive tackle, is questionable for Philly. Cameron Williams, the tackle, is on the IR. That sucks. Goddard, questionable. Will Shipley, questionable. Tanner McKee, questionable. So we have a battle of division winners rematch here, Jer. This line is just dropping. Now it's to 3.5, 3 at some books. What are your thoughts on two of your favorite squads?
Revenge is a powerful tool. Many people use it to summon super strength, to get things done that they never thought they could. And unfortunately for my Eagles, everybody knows here I don't really bet on my team, but I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the revenge. I think they're going to win outright. Unfortunately, I hope they just cover. I hope they just cover and Eagles win by 3. But yeah, I'm picking the Rams.
I'm going to lean Eagles here. Just because I don't think they were super high on the way they won against Kansas City. And week 1, Dallas hung around and covered that spread. Philly's offense kind of went to shit after that rainstorm. But still, I think they're just getting a little disrespected. Rams, obviously, a solid team, but who did they really play in week 1 and 2 against, Jer? Week 1, they played against the field goal machine that is Houston, and then they went up against, rookie Tennessee Titans, banged up, lowly team, right? So I think Rams may be a little overvalued here. I'm leaning Eagles, but a no play for me, but I don't know why this is not on Sunday night, but that's another story.
The memories
for another day. We move on.
They should have won that game.
That was the closest game of all the Eagles playoff games last year. Even though the Eagles set the NFL record for most points in a playoff postseason, that was easily the closest game, and I was sweating at the end there. So let's move on to the Steelers and Patriots. Steelers were 1-point favorite. Look ahead line. It's gone up to 1.5. I think 2 on one of the books. Looking at the injuries, Pittsburgh, Highsmith is out. The linebacker, Joey Porter, questionable. Derek Harmon, questionable. The first-round pick. Deshaun Elliott is questionable. And Isaiah Loudermilk is out with an ankle injury. Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, still questionable. Hasn't played this year. Probably their best player, I would think. So he's a big piece. We'll see if he plays or not. And do you have a play on this game, Jer?
My gold pick. I really see Aaron coming in mad that Seattle punked him. And I know it's on the road, but I just don't have too much faith in the Patriots yet. Everyone was talking about how they're going to change, and they just seem like the same old team to me. You beat Miami. Who cares? And the Steelers just to win by a field goal. I like it. I like it a lot. So I think they're going to bounce back. Patriots are going to be.
That's a big recreational play for sure. I think that's going to be a big recreational play as well. I think most people will see Pittsburgh and jump on that. So we will move on. I did tease up New England over a touchdown, but we'll talk about that later. We'll move on to the Jets at Buccaneers. Buccaneers fresh off a last-second win. What was that? 2 straight weeks with late victories for Tampa. Close victories, but Baker Boy does what Baker does. Now they're facing the Jets without their starting quarterback. I believe the line was 5.5. It's risen up to 7. I tried to get 7.5, couldn't. Justin Fields concussed. Their cornerback Michael Carter's questionable. Safety Tony Adams questionable. Jermaine Johnson questionable. And for Tampa, Godeke, their tackle, is doubtful. And defensive lineman Cansey tore his pec, so he's on the IR. Godwin's still out. Tristan Wirfs questionable. It'll be interesting because he's probably one of the best linemen in the league. So we'll see if he plays or not. And I'm going to jump on and take the Jets here, plus the 7. This line's already gone down to 6.5. Lots of injuries for Tampa on the line. I can see the Jets getting to Baker here and keeping this one close. They are totally motivated after getting punked in week 2. And Tampa, they just have a way of playing to their competition, whether it's up in a competition or down in competition. I see them winning by 3 or 4, so I'm grabbing the Jets. Silver pick plus the 7. Your thoughts on this one, Jer?
I just got no faith in the Jets. Unfortunately, I've seen this spread, and it is a big spread. I just see the Buccaneers winning. Maybe again, backdoors, and NFL defenses are NFL defense. Unless they're going hard, they will lean back a little bit when they're up 3 scores. If the Jets win in garbage time, I like it. Really strong in the Buccaneers. I think this is another game where the Buccaneers win it by double digits, maybe only 10. But that's my thought.
Buccaneers haven't won any games by double digits so far. So I mean, I like them to keep it close, right? They didn't dominate Atlanta, and they didn't exactly dominate Houston until end of the game. I think Jets will be motivated. They're 0-2. Generally 0-2 teams, they step up in week 3. And Tampa, I think, will be a little fat and happy. Emotional high on Monday night, and now you got to go home and play the Jets. I just don't see them being motivated. Yeah, they'll win by 3 or 4. No big deal. And we move on to Texans and Jaguars. We're on opposite sides on this one. I believe Jaguars opened up as -1 favorites, and it's bumped up to 1.5, down to 1, back to 1.5. Texans will have Kirk back as at receiver. Berrios will be back for receiver. Petrie is questionable for safety. Jake Andrews is questionable for Jacksonville. Brian Thomas, who dropped that big pass, is probable with his wrist injury. Funny how an injury comes up after you drop a big play like that. And Jerrion Jones, their defensive back, is questionable with a back issue. So not too much talk. I mean, Houston's getting a couple of receivers back there. What are your thoughts on this one, Jerry? You like Houston to bounce back after 2 losses?
Yeah, they got a lot to play for here. 0-3 is not a good look. They're used to beating up on the Jaguars pretty good. Yeah, it's there's only 2 things that can happen. Jaguars are going to go 2-1, or Texans are going to 0-3. I just don't see it. I think the Texans are going to pull out the win. Maybe it'd be a close one, and then they will be kind of battling for that second position in the division. It's still early, I know, and the Colts are atop the division, but we will see. I don't think Texans will lose 3 in a row. I think they'll find a way.
They're getting a little healthier at receiver. They still don't have Mixon. And yeah, I think that's hurting too. And I'm not a big fan of D'Amico Ryans' coaching. He's just a little too old school for me. I prefer more of a progressive coach. And this Liam Cohen guy, he's done pretty good in the first 2 weeks. And Jaguars could easily be 2-0. And if they were, the spread would be -3, I think. So I think I'm getting value under a field goal at home. Travis Hunter's pissed, questionable call. Trevor Lawrence is pissed after, a couple of bad throws. Coach bitched him out. And obviously Brian Thomas, there's people talking about him throwing the game. They're saying he dropped that pass and he might have had money on Cincinnati. So I think he's motivated, and definitely think Jaguars can get across the line. I don't like to fade Houston here because I do have them winning division preseason, but when you just don't have it, you just don't have it. I think Jaguars are the better offense, better coach. And I think they'll put up enough points to cover the spread. And we move on to one of the games of the week, AFC West clash. Chargers' 3rd straight divisional battle. I believe this line has not moved from the look ahead. Look ahead was 2.5. It stayed at 2.5. Let's take a look at the injuries for each respective team. Greenlaw is questionable for Denver. He didn't play last week. Adkins, the tight end, is questionable. For Chargers, Khalil Mack, injury, not good. He's questionable. I don't think he plays. And then, I don't know if I can pronounce this right, but Eba Goigby, defensive lineman, he is questionable. And Molden, questionable. Perryman will be out for the Chargers. What are your thoughts on this one, Jared? I'm leaning Denver here pretty heavy. But unless I get 3, I can't play it.
I'm a big believer in the next man up. You know that. I bring it up all the time, and I know the next man up ain't going to be no Khalil Mack, but this is, their chance. Whoever they put in his spot, that's their chance to shine. I see Chargers winning, maybe only by a field goal. But yeah, I see them continue to roll. Broncos, unfortunately, are going to have a early season hiccup, but I think they're going to pick it up after this, probably go on a streak. But no, Chargers are, I think they're upper echelon this year. They're looking good. But again, a divisional game. I love them just to win by field goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If I can get Denver +3, I think I like Denver to win the game. I think they'll have more fans at the Chargers. This is like their first official home game, and we know they don't really have home field advantage. Bronco Nation will be out there in large. So when I get to 3, I'll take Denver +3. But I did tease up Denver to 8.5. I expect them to win, but if the Chargers do win, I think it's by 1 or 2. This is a game Denver needs more. They lost both games to the Chargers. And
revenge factor, yeah.
Sean Payton,
always good.
He remembers that. Sean Payton remembers. He does not forget anything of that. So let's move on to Saints at the Seahawks. I believe the look-ahead line was 6.5. It's grown now to 7.5 after the impressive victory by Seattle in Pittsburgh. Witherspoon questionable for Seattle. New Orleans, Chase Young still questionable. They just have a plethora of injuries. It would just take all day to go through. They did look okay last week. They didn't cover the game time spread, but they had a chance to win the game there at the end. But obviously, Spencer Rattlered, and they did not cover. Seattle, obviously, very impressive in week 2. Probably could have won week 1 as well. And
yeah,
you have
for
a
sure.
pick on this game, Jared?
This is my silver pick. I love it. It's the Clint Kubiak. How dare you guys let me go show. And I think he's going to summon some of that crazy offense that New Orleans had going last year, but just couldn't keep it sustained because of all the injuries. Again, this is another one. I know I sound like a broken record, but I think this is another one of these games where I see the Seahawks winning by at least 10 pretty easily. I know the Saints have shown signs of life, but not this week. Clint Kubiak shows them what's up, and the Seahawks win a big one. And
I think it's a pretty big number for Seattle to lay because they were like 1-7 at home last year, and like they did better on the road last year. Like they're not the Legion of Boom that they used to be. So I think this is a big number for them to lay, and I think Saints can move the ball. I can see this Seattle winning by 7. I think it's pretty sharp. I did tease down Seattle under a field goal, so I mean it's tempting to take them as a survivor pick, right? Because where else are you really going to take them down the road unless they play Carolina or New England or something like that, or Miami, right? So I'm tempted to take him in Survivor. I'm not going to. And we're going to move on. Cardinals, 49ers. 49ers will be starting Mac Jones at quarterback. Let's take a look at the injuries. Brock Purdy, obviously doubtful. Another injury for the Niners. Kyle Juszczyk, he's doubtful. Juwan Jennings is questionable. Ben Bartsch, offensive lineman, is out indefinitely. And cornerback Neal is questionable with a concussion. Cardinals, no major injuries to really speak of. They're 2-0, and I see them going 3-0, taking care of business here in SF. I think it's a small spread for a reason, so I'll be taking Arizona as my dog of the week. 49ers, a little fat happy after their first 2 victories. Mac Jones was, I think, feeling himself a little bit after that week 2 victory. Arizona, very, they played some cupcake guys. I think most people will say, hey, you beat Arizona, you beat New Orleans, you got to step up in class. I think they're ready for the challenge, and they were actually favored at one point a couple of nights ago. So take them as a dog. What are your thoughts on this NFC West clash?
Yeah, the Cardinals defense is a little banged up. I don't know, if it's not on the report, but they just looked slow and should have lost that game last week. I don't know how they can just sit back on their heels like that. Ruin my gold pick. They're up 4 scores.
Hey, this is week 3. This is week 3, Jared, not week 2.
Oh, I know. But I'll move on as a dog. Why not? It's a divisional. Anyone can win by 3 in those divisional games. 49ers. I do like Mac Jones, but maybe the Cardinals can find an edge and take advantage of Mac Jones more than they can Purdy. So
I think so. I mean, this is your chance to win an SF. Like if you're facing 49ers at full strength, you're probably not going to have. Yeah, you're probably not going to have any chance to win. So I mean, this is your chance. They're just beat up as hell, and we'll see what happens. We'll move on to Cowboys at the Bears. I believe the look-ahead line was Bears -2, and now it's dropped. Obviously, the Bears have been pretty horrible in the last 5 quarters. They were solid in the first 3. Looking at the injury report, the offensive, I think it's a center, BB is on the IR for Cowboys. Deron Bland is doubtful. Turpin is questionable. The all-pro defensive back Johnson is out for the Bears on the IR. TJ Edwards questionable. Kyle Gordon, defensive back, is questionable. So the Bears are a little beat up. And I don't know how they're favored. Some books have them favored. Some books have Dallas favored here, Jared. What are your 2 cents on this game?
Just Cowboys don't really look like, I know they've done some things and almost beat the Eagles and scored, 37 on the Giants, which, their defense is still out on how good they are. But for some reason, I think the Bears are going to get their first win here at home. They're going to play proud.
I agree.
And just kind of just take advantage of the Cowboys' weaknesses. The Cowboys might score a few points too. It's the Bears' defense. They look pretty bad. But, yeah, I think, Bears maybe win a last-minute thriller on a longer field goal, something along those lines. Cowboys are –
I think so too, because it's also a look-ahead spot for Dallas because they're facing Green Bay in Week 4. And Bears, their main weakness has been Williams not getting rid of the ball. So we know Dallas doesn't have much of a rush without Parsons, and I think that'll give them the chance to just get the ball out of Williams' hands, get some screens, get some slants, something just quick and easy, and try not to be Patrick Mahomes in his prime. I think you just do the basic plays. You can carve up Dallas.
Try not to be Jared Goff.
Well,
52,
yeah.
baby.
I don't think anyone would list Jared Goff as a top 10 talent in the NFL, but yeah, he's got a lot of talent around him. Let's just put it that way. And we'll move on to a Sunday night game, Jared. How the hell did they put this on Sunday? I know it's Kansas City. I know it's New York.
Flex Eagles
they
Rams.
Should. I think the look-ahead line was 6. It hasn't moved much. It's 5.5, 6, 6.5. Worthy questionable for Kansas City. Fulton is questionable, the cornerback. Giants, Andrew Thomas questionable. They lost their linebacker, Chris Board, to the IR. Giants showed a little life last week. 6-point dogs on Sunday night. I think a lot of the recreational bettors are going to be down on Kansas City. I'll take the Chiefs for my survivor pick. I think this is Kansas City or no play. What are your thoughts on this one, Jer?
I think that Giants scoring all those points was just a blip. I don't think that's really going to happen again. I know
it's more of a matchup.
They got some good offensive players. I just don't see it. Everyone's down on the Chiefs. This is a perfect chance. Get right spot for the Chiefs, and get on that horse and be how they usually are. Top tier NFL team.
Well, Kelsey. Kelsey's choked, right? Because first week he knocks out Worthy, and then week 2 drops probably the most clutch play of the whole season there. And he's going to be pumped. Giants, like we said, their defense hasn't looked anything great this year. Mahomes, I think he's itching to go off a little bit and get some points on the board. So I think we're in agreement there. Kansas City or nothing for a pretty lame Sunday game. Not too often you see 2 0-2 teams playing on Sunday night. I just thought of that. So we'll move on to probably the game of the week, Monday Night Football, Detroit at Baltimore. Spread was 6.5. It has come down a full 2 points here, Jer. Let's take a look at the quick injuries. We have Detroit, Davenport questionable. Van Noy is doubtful for Baltimore. Humphrey questionable. Likely questionable. Patrick Ricard questionable for Baltimore. But the spread's dropping, so there's money coming in on Detroit. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I guess everyone's just crowning Green Bay. They're the best defense in the league, and they're saying, "Oh, the Lions they played Green Bay," and it's like, look at what they did in Chicago, 52, and it's like it only went down a couple of points, but they're thinking, hey, I can get a team that scores 52, even if it's on Chicago, and get some points. Like that sounds good. Other than that, though, can the Lions keep the Ravens under a 40 burger? I just don't know. And if they score, if they get 3 40 burgers in a row, I don't know what the record is, but they're coming down close to it. They're explosive. Not too many defenses besides Buffalo in the fourth quarter, and able to stop them. Yeah. No, I'm definitely Ravens here for sure.
It's a tough one. I think it's a pretty sharp line. Detroit on the road isn't always the best, but primetime spot, giving them 4.5 points. I think it's tempting, but I can't step in front of Baltimore right now. They're just they are a machine. Like regular season, they've been probably the best team the last 3 years, hands down, cumulative. Right? If you look at all the last 3 seasons total, 24, 23, 22, it's
highlight
Baltimore
packages and everything.
Yeah, I mean they only had 10 points in the first half last week, and then they put 31 consecutive or whatever they did in the second half there. I think they got Gabriel got a garbage time touchdown, but that's about it. So yeah, that wraps it up for our week 2 picks. Let's do a quick recap here, Jer. Give me your gold, silver, bronze, dog, and teaser survivor picks.
Okay, I got for my gold, I got the Steelers -1.5. Major bounce back for Aaron Rodgers, showing the Patriots who they really are. Steelers are going to do it. Silver, Seattle, again, Click Kubiak revenge game, showing New Orleans what he can do. I believe they're going to at least win by 10. My bronze pick, the Colts, they're just rolling. I know it's a divisional game. I usually stay away, but they're just doing so good, and Tennessee doesn't look that very good. I believe that it'll happen. My survivor pick is the Packers. They're rolling. No reason to think that they won't survive, especially with no spread. And my teaser is the Bills -4.5. And the Las Vegas Raiders +10.5. I think the Raiders will probably lose, but again, 2 digits, double digits, too much. You can still lose by 10 and get it. I love that. And Buffalo should show up, win by at least a touchdown. And yeah, those are my picks.
Okay, for me, it was gold, Minnesota -3, silver, Jets +7, bronze, Jacksonville -1.5. My dog is Arizona. Teasers, Denver +8.5. New England +7.5. And my survivor is Kansas City. And we're going to catch everyone next time on S&S.
Yeah.